People are like looking for the good old days, and I just don't think that that's coming back. And why do I say that? I don't even care. Even if the game's good, I just don't think it's coming back because I mean, so much of why Halo was good was like the community back then. It's not the same people playing the game. You got all these stupid fucking streamers and YouTubers and influencers now that are going to be, controlling the narrative around the game and all that stuff. Like people just can't have fun, because there's all these people just putting their stupid input in and fucking everything up. It's just not going to be like an honest experience like it used to be because there's just so much noise now. We're 20 years removed from that shit. You know, like things are so much different now. Like I just don't think
Yeah,
people
well,
realize that. Yeah.
yeah, well, it's just I don't know what the numbers are on like the Gears of War remake, but I would assume it's going to be similar kind of experience to that. I mean, did the numbers drop off in that regard? Because that's a pretty good like example of what will happen.
The thing that's weird about that is that the numbers are going to be really high because that went to PlayStation. And like I think this is going to be released on PlayStation as well. So maybe that is, but what I'm saying is it's an illusion because like the numbers are obviously going to be higher, because it's on PlayStation now, which is like 60% of the market. So you're going to think, oh my God, the game's better than ever. And it's like, you're just adding another console to the mix. It doesn't mean that the game's actually better. It doesn't mean it's just like the good old days. I mean, it might seem like it, but, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not even against that, but it's just, I'm just saying that the community is different. There's just so much fucking noise now, online.
Yeah, you're gonna get like the nostalgia back, and that's gonna uptick once you just start playing it, just like the other remake was, and the Halo's gonna have the same reaction, but it's gonna fall off because we are the audience, and I just feel like we want like resolution maybe, and it doesn't really give us resolution to just keep going back to the past because what we want is like we do want something new. I think we want something to kind of almost like I shouldn't say maybe a little bit like make up for it, I guess, for all the waiting. I don't think we're going to get that because if you're just focused on remaking the past, we already know that you're not capable of remaking anything good for the future because that's what we should be excited for is a little bit of something similar with the past in mind, but also with something new. And I'm not confident if the first way to get us attracted to your content is just to remake something we already know. I'm not confident that's going to like lead into anything good on your side. So I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it'll work for initially. It'll work. Of course, everybody wants to like replay the CE experience. I think I'd like to play it, but I don't think it's gonna fall off as soon as it kind of comes out if you don't have anything to back it up with. And I
Yeah.
doubt they.
100%. The problem I have is I feel like I've made this video like 50 times over. Which is just to say that, if you're remaking something that doesn't show any creativity, you're just okay. You have like a nicer engine now. You have Unreal Engine, and they're pairing it with the Blam engine apparently. So you're gonna get that, which is like the Halo Reach engine. So you're gonna get like the feeling of like the older Halos, but it'll be on Unreal, like with a mask of Unreal on top, so it'll look really nice. Which is like cool, but like it doesn't say anything to like the creative ability of Halo Studios. And I think that's what my problem with it is. Um, you know,
Well,
it,
how's
it
the movement gonna be? Like that's the
we
there's
have
some
well,
things
it'll
that
probably be like
yeah.
the old movement. I mean, that's what we're thinking. Like it will feel like Halo. We're pretty sure about that. But they're kind of trying to figure out how serious they're gonna go with the movement. Like how they are gonna add some newer movement mechanics. I think they're throwing in sprint. I think that was like confirmed. You know, and it's like I don't know, because the fun you brought up Gears remastered or reloaded, and we played that and we were bored as shit. I mean, and it's like, and we're like Gears fans, but like we kind of just wanted Gears 4 because that's like the peak Gears or like the gameplay experience, not necessarily the campaign. But like that's what we wanted, and we were just thinking the whole time. It's like, yeah, this looks great, but like Gears 4 was the peak. So we're always like pushing the envelope. Like making a 1-to-1 from like an older version of a game is not, all it's cracked up to be. That's what I would say. It's, I don't know. It's weird. It's like we have like moved on a little bit. That's the other part of it that sucks. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I don't know like when it comes to our generation, I'm not sure how much of us link cinematic experience with the gameplay itself because I feel like we were so spoiled back then with that cinematic Halo experience and same with Gears, with the story mattered just as much as the multiplayer and it fed into the multiplayer. And I feel like if you really want to reach our hearts, I think you have to be that type of person. At least for me, I feel like you have to do that again in some regard.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then you better make the version of that game that is the most competitive multiplayer and the best experience for everybody, which is so like something like Gears of War 1 doesn't work because it doesn't capture all the movement and the things that, everybody likes. And for Halo CE, that's again, people like CE multiplayer, but they're not as infatuated with that as maybe something like Halo 2 or Halo 3 multiplayer remastered. So
Yeah.
that's
See what you
another
mean.
reason. So if you're not able to get the story right, you need to at least get every aspect of the competitive play right in the
Yeah.
old format,
That's a
so
good
that people can.
that's a good thing
Yeah,
you brought up because what you're saying is, the reason people like Halo CE is not necessarily the multiplayer. We love it, but we're really thinking about the campaign. But when we think about multiplayer, we're thinking Halo 2, Halo 3. Halo CE multiplayer is great, but it was broken like hell, and it's not like the epitome of, you know, multiplayer, but so I see what you're saying because it's kind of like asymmetrical even in the old days. Like, when you think about Halo CE, you're thinking about the campaign. You're not really thinking about the multiplayer. Everyone's kind of hyped about it, and I just kind of want to throw some cold water on it because I just don't think it's going to be. There's always something. Oh yeah, and the other thing that we know that's guaranteed is they want it to be like I think even like somebody compared it to Fortnite. Like, God, I hope not. But they were saying it's going to be a continuously updated game. Like, that's what they wanted Infinite to be. They never wanted Infinite to die. I think they wanted to just keep updating it and have a battle royale, and that's what they're going to have now. There's going to be a battle royale. They're late to the party, but it's like I don't really think that matters so much because as long as I'm playing it and people are playing it, that's obviously a step in the right direction. Even if you fuck it up, the bar is so low that they could come out with a battle royale and be like, man, this is gay. It's just like Fortnite or something. But if like we're playing it, at least that's a step in the right direction because like nobody's playing Halo right now.
yeah. I just think if you're making, like you said, if you're trying to gravitate towards our audience by going back to nostalgia, I feel like there's probably a sense in the marketing sense you're kind of afraid now. You're forced to kind of put yourself in our shoes and try to see it from our perspective. But it's like that sounds good, right? It's like, okay, they're trying to empathize with the community, but it's not. To me, I don't know. Well, again, I don't know this studio. They might have fired a bunch of people and actually got the right minds.
They
I mean,
have,
who
yeah,
knows?
they fired a bunch of people, but there's still a
But
lot
if
of people that shouldn't be there working.
if they
Um,
didn't, then they're doing it from a place of like almost like fear. I don't want to I really don't want to mess this up. And that fear in itself is not going to provide you with the creativity to
yeah,
like produce something good. Like the people that originally made the first three Halos, they weren't afraid that they're going to disappoint. They didn't want to disappoint themselves. So it was more of like almost a selfish predicament, but it was in a good way. Like I want to be a perfectionist and I want to make sure that I enjoy this game and it's about me and making it all around. But I feel like if you're too afraid and it's all about kind of like the marketing aspect of things, I just don't think that you're ever going to produce anything that's going to like feel timeless. I don't think this is going to feel like a timeless type of thing at all. I don't know what else they're coming up with other than the multiplayer, but
yeah, really
I
well
don't know.
said. Something I was thinking about earlier was just like how amazing it is that like we're still here waiting for another Halo like all these years later. Like what other fan base is like that? I mean, that's how good the first 3 games were. That we're still here at 30, 31 years old, fucking waiting on the next great Halo. It's like like that's just crazy to me. Like it's crazy that they've fucked up so bad while having a community that's that dedicated. But it really just speaks to how good the first 3 games were. Like, I mean, we had a Lord of the Rings level, first trilogy and even better, like to me, which is, I love the Lord of the Rings, but holy shit, Halo 1, 2, and 3 are that's peak gaming. I mean, that's it. And oh yeah, here's the other thing I wanted to say real quick. The problem with this is that you can basically only fuck up and go backwards. Like the best thing we could hope, Daniel, is that the graphics are better. Like you think these guys are going to make the story better with any little thing they do? Like no. And I think that's kind of the thing is like, it's like you can only step backwards. You can only be as good or step backwards. You know, because in some sense you could say that, and I made a video about this in the past, but it's like, you know, just the way that Halo CE looks, like that low poly environment, like, you know, kind of feeds into like how good the game is. That's kind of like part of why the game's good also. So just making better graphics isn't necessarily gonna like even make the game necessarily better. It could actually even make it worse. You know, it's kind of crazy to think about, but
Yeah, I agree.
they have, I'm not even kidding, like 3 or 4 other studios working on this next game and then in the next few games. So this isn't like, I mean, they have a whole studio just for Halo. Why don't they have all the personnel that they need? You know, they're outsourcing all this shit to everyone else. I mean, that doesn't give me a lot of confidence. You know, like you don't even have the talent necessary to create a good game, you know, in 2025. I mean, there's a lot of other competent studios that still do all the work themselves, you know? And I get that there's contracting here and there for skills you need, but I mean, this is like, you know, a lot of people working on this shit. It's like, what, you really don't got the people you need? Are we really lacking in talent that bad? Because that's not good.
Yeah, and then they're not hiring the people that originally worked on the games. They're just, oh, it's got to be in our minds somewhere, and clearly it's not in your minds if you're outsourcing so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't send a good signal that they have confidence in what they're doing. Um, why should I have
Well, well,
confidence
well,
if
they
these are?
can't do it. I mean, they literally can't. Even if like maybe it's even a case where like you do have people that care and they're not even able to produce the good product. Like they literally need all these other people. You know, think about how insulated Bungie was in the early days. I mean, that was all them. You know, they weren't having a million contracts go out to everyone else to get help and all that stuff. That was a very insulated project. That's why it was so good. I just find that interesting. But
I mean, it's cool that they recognize that this game is a treasure and that it should be like sought out as such, but it's not cool that they can't figure it out at this point. Um,
yeah, yeah. What are you doing? I mean, and this is, and that's the thing that's interesting to me is like this is Microsoft. I mean, this is like the biggest company in the world. I think as of even today, maybe it might still be Nvidia. It changes like every other day, but you know, if Microsoft can't get it together, you know, who else can? You know, I mean, like it's just crazy that you wouldn't have, you know, like your studios couldn't do this on their own. You know, I just, you know, if they can't do it, who can? You know, they got all the money in the fucking world to throw at this shit.
Yeah, they just don't have the minds for it. That's all. I mean, the bureaucracy in Microsoft when they were first originally working with the original creators, that was they were always getting in the way of creativity, just putting in their rules or whatever. And
Right.
it's the same thing over and over again. No, you guys don't have it in you because you guys are not the original minds that came up with this stuff. You just can only see it from a marketing side. You can't see it from like why this game was special to begin with. And they're like hiring so much to try to just hire well hire the original people. That's the
Or
that should
and
be
listen, I
evident.
understand that they're not all going to want to come back, but you could pay them a fuck ton of money to come back, way more. I mean, well, pay them what they're worth, really, which is a lot. Or you could say, hey, like we want your consulting, we want you to write this out, we want your vision. You know, like so maybe you're not doing the work, but it's your vision, and we'll do all the fucking nerdy coding and 3D modeling and all that stuff. Somebody that's not creative can do a lot of that. But the important stuff like the writing and the gameplay, the vision, that stuff should really come from the OGs, and they're still alive, and it's not like they're on their deathbed. I mean, these guys can still work, and they still are working.
Yeah, if Marty O'Donnell isn't a part of it, why should I be a part of it? I don't understand. I mean, it's
Yeah.
such he's somebody who's still animate about the game. He still has all the nostalgia. I'm sure he would love to
He's just
like
one of them.
part
A
of
lot of the art guys are still interested in the game. The old gameplay guy. I mean, there's a bunch of these guys that are still heavily interested in the game and the franchise and the community, and they're willing to come back. A lot of them have said that they are, and so the fact that they're not there just says that Microsoft's not really interested in having a solid creative vision. They're just trying. It's like you said, just they're only thinking from a marketing perspective. Oh yeah, we can sell this. Never mind if this is good. We can sell it. It's that kind of thing.
they just have to be in control all the time. What they lose is if they hire people like this, is that they're going to have to be in control. It's like, no, you've been doing it all wrong. We got to throw this all out. It's like they don't want to hear that. They
Right.
want to be in direct control of everything. Well, clearly you're not able to execute if at this point. I don't know how many lessons you need to learn, but I guess
Yeah.
another one.
Why are people still playing the old shit? Why does Master Chief Collection have like 35 to 40,000 daily players, and like Infinite has like 2,000? It's just like you can see like who had it right. I mean, even all these years later.